Good morning and happy Friday to you all. It is a lovely, lovely Friday. It's Friday, as we love to say. So I want to say good morning to all of you and welcome to the autopsy of her healing, evolving resiliency. I am your host, Iris D. Owens, and on the line with me is my beautiful sister and co-host. Hey, honey bunny, how are you?
Hey, honey bunny, Stephanie Deani Green. Oh, I love the background.
You love the background?
I do because
Take it.
I love those colors. They're like beautiful. My other house. My office was the lighter pink color, the more
Mm-hmm.
fuchsia. I love that
And
color.
my office was
Mm.
the darker purple kind of bluish color.
What's your office now? What color is your office now?
And my office it's like that beige color. Well, it's
Okay.
not beige, it's more like that calming uh I won't call it beige because beige is really an old color, but it's
Yeah.
more like a camel color.
Okay, that camel's pretty.
Mm-hmm. So
Are you gonna paint it?
no,
I know you said you weren't.
I'm not painting
Yeah, I know you said you
anything.
weren't, but I didn't know if you want to paint your office because you like your color
No.
purple.
And listen, that's the great thing about my house. I don't have to do anything. It literally was move-in ready. I don't have to paint anything. I don't have to change anything out. And I love it. And it's staying that way.
And not to mention that it's change is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna jump in and get started. We welcome you all. We thank you all for being here with us today, and we hope that you are having an amazing day. So our topic today is going to be PTS, past tense situations. So does that make sense to you? Past tense situations.
Definitely.
But we're
Yeah.
going to talk about them and how we get to the past tense, what we go through before getting to the past tense situations,
Hmm.
and how we're affected by that.
Yeah.
So, Steph, it is on you.
Absolutely. Well, like I'm 57 years old. So if you had your first little boyfriend in elementary school, you've had all these boyfriends. So you go up, you have relationships as you get older, they get more serious.
Right.
And sometimes you leave these relationships with your feelings hurt. Well, I think most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're the one that left or the other person left, feelings are hurt, you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes if you left or whomever left, your desire to leave is more than your hurt feelings. It's like, I
Correct.
gotta go, you know what I mean? So you
Right.
go.
Right.
And if you think the grass is green on the other side, or you just need to go for yourself, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to someone else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I have never been in a place where I don't, be honestly speaking, it was just my energy has been in a place that all of the relationships within hurt feelings that now people are resurfacing in my life in different ways. They're bringing a
Mm-hmm.
different energy and bringing with them um, closure that I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
ask for, but
Mm-hmm.
they feel the need to have closure with me. And I can honestly say that looking at it in a big picture, it's okay. I think maybe prior to my near death experience has been so important to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through tragic situations, it changes you. And I know it
Right.
has changed me a lot. And amongst all the growth that I have been doing for myself. So you giving me closure now, maybe I needed 2 years ago, or within my marriage, I needed 5 years ago. But
Right.
I have closure within my own self. But
Right.
then once you go through all those situations, um, like I spent, the weekend with my ex-husband, I'm in separate hotels, but we had a great time with our children,
Mm-hmm.
and which is the way that it should be. You should not, because you must have had that enough love with that person to marry them and then go to have not only one but two children for them.
Correct. That is
For me,
correct.
that was everything, and it's as it should be. Having children shouldn't be a casual act. It should be
Correct.
something that is seriously, seriously thought about, because this is
Yes.
another human being that you're shaping and molding that didn't ask to be brought here. It
Right.
shouldn't be your accessory. It shouldn't be your baby doll. You
Right.
know, it's a human being. That's what it
Correct.
is. So, and then to see your children, because, but however, your children are always watching you. I don't care how old they get, and they learn from watching. People don't learn from talking, and they learn. They don't really learn from listening. They learn from watching.
Correct.
So as they watch you and how you do things, it makes it better for them. Do you doing the things in the right way? And
Right.
that was a good feeling. I think I told you. I said we had the day was a perfect day, and it
Right.
really was.
Right.
And then it was somebody that I had dated, and now I was just like reaching out, and they kept reaching out. But I really, what are you reaching out for? And then finally, because it was so odd, I kept blocking his number, blocking his number, and I was like, I think I even said to you, why the block thing don't work? You know what I mean? But it's just like, and you did not realize the more you try to keep somebody out, the more they're gonna try to get in.
Mm.
So if I just, stop, it's like, you're fighting against that. And then it was okay, then they'll stop calling you, which is kind of like what I thought, but obviously that wasn't the case, but it was different. And it was like, I want to have a conversation, like just how you doing? And then it's okay, you know. And now it's come like full circle that we're in a place that we're not friends, but we're okay. You know what I mean? But I really think that we use that word friendship too loosely. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because your friend
Mm-hmm.
is, you know, to be friends with the opposite sex is a whole nother level. It's like that's a can you be friends with the opposite sex with not sexual tension, or
Right.
maybe you can be friends after y'all
Right.
broke up because now
Right.
all that's out of the way.
Right.
But and so I guess we are somewhat friends, but it's just like it's interesting because you now no longer. I don't need your closure. I don't need anything from you. I don't need anything. I just need whatever I need. I need it from God, and that's what He gives me. But it's interesting because people, I guess, feel the need to do that because deep down inside, when you did somebody wrong or however you handled the situation,
Could
and
be. And it could be that again, when we don't deal with our own past tense situations,
mm,
we don't know, or if we were never taught how to leave a situation gracefully. And many
it's
of us are not taught that. Many of us are taught, to avoid confrontation.
exactly.
If something is not going the way you expect it to go, as opposed to speaking to the person that you're involved in the situation with, because what life is relational, right?
Mhm.
You're talking to everyone else outside of this relationship. but the,
Exactly.
but the person or the thing or the situation that you're having the conflict with or you're struggling with has no idea sometimes that you're even having these thoughts or these feelings. And yet we expect that this other person, like, you should know it. You
Yeah.
should
It's
you should
not
know
the
that.
mind readers. Not the
Right.
mind readers.
You should know that I'm not happy. And
Mhm.
then, and I'm gonna put a pin right there. It takes maturity in life. It takes situations in life. It takes hurt, pain, trauma, things that don't make us feel good to realize. And if you haven't realized, that you need to begin to realize other people are not responsible for your happiness, just as you are not responsible for other people's happiness.
That's right.
Happiness is an emotion, and it's a feeling, it's a state of mind. It
Exactly.
Happiness changes, it goes up,
That's
it
right.
goes down, it goes sideways, it goes flat, it goes
Mhm.
really high. But the only person that's responsible or in control of that is the person who is experiencing the emotion of
Exactly.
happiness. Just like
Mhm.
all of your emotions, we can say, someone can make us angry, right? But we also can choose how we choose to be angry.
Mhm. Or how we
Anger,
choose not to be angry.
or choose not to be angry, because
Mhm.
what we don't understand is that when we're moved by a situation to the point that we make decisions that may not have been a wise decision, or we continue engaging in a relationship or in a situation that we are not happy in, but we keep holding on to it because we're like, well, eventually you're going to make me happy. And eventually I'm going to find happiness with you because I think you are my happy. I'm not your happy.
And that's a
They
dangerous
are
place
not,
to be.
they are not your happy. And
No,
you're
not at
not
all.
their happy. Because if I'm not happy when I meet you, I may become elated at moments. But when I start to rehearse my past tense, my PTS, my past tense situations, my happiness can very well change
Mhm.
into anger, into depression, into sadness, into darkness, because I haven't dealt with my PTS,
Mhm. Mhm.
you know? And I think many times we go through life from one situation to the next, from one relationship to the next. And I remember as a younger woman always being told, you need to take time after a relationship and, you know, well, they never said digest it, but you need to take time. That's what people would say. You need to
Mhm.
take time. And I would always say, take time for what? Like,
Mhm.
what is it that I need to do here?
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
um and most of us, we live with the antics sometimes of, well, if you want to get over somebody, what's the
Mhm.
other thing?
Mhm.
Get up
Mhm.
under somebody else. Well, that's not the answer
No, not at
either.
all. Not at all. Not at all.
um but what we do need to do is find that space for ourselves
Mhm.
to really dissect, again,
Mhm.
autopsy what just happened, conduct an autopsy on that relationship, on that situation that you just went through, or you're dealing with, or you're going through, or you're considering, am I going to go back into it? Because that's the thing, as human beings, we tend not to take time out to dissect things. Um, it's interesting because in science, right, the way you learn about a species or an animal or a mammal is what you
Dissecting.
dissect it.
That,
Right?
that's how you learn. That's how you learn to be a doctor too. You gotta
Right.
the cadaver when you
Yes.
first start medical
You
school, and you
right.
work on the cadaver all through medical school. That's your
Right.
cadaver.
And what is a cadaver? It's dead. It's a dead body, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in science, the poor frog is dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that they're giving to you, it's dead. And
Yeah.
then we go through this thing where we're like, oh my God, this is so disgusting. But when you're done, if you go through the process, you learn so much
Yep. You do.
about that thing. And you
Mm-hmm.
walk away going, man, I
Mm-hmm.
always just looked at a frog, that a frog hopped and leaped and made weird noises, and some are poisonous and they could give you warts. And, these are the
Mm-hmm.
things that we
Mm-hmm.
think. But if you
Yeah.
dissect the frog, you learn so much about the frog. How come we don't do that with our relationships?
Mhm.
We don't take the time to dissect.
Well,
We
I think like you can. I think that most people are dissecting wrong. I think
mm,
because I've had many times like I've been single for a year. I've been single for however long. Now
mm-hmm,
I've been single for like over 2 years, and it's okay. But if through periods of time, I've been single for long periods of time, and but sometimes you're not doing it the right way. Like my first fiance, we never got married, but I think I was telling you that he died recently,
mm-hmm,
and I hadn't seen this man. Oh my God, since we broke up, like I was like 21.
right.
But think about it. I think about how I did not know how to heal from that relationship. It took so much out of me. I
Mm-hmm,
am not gonna lie. When I look back, I mean, I ran off and got married to someone else out of the pain of that relationship, you
right.
know. Now, the one thing I did realize is that because it was more like I really I don't like dating. So it's something I have to really put myself to do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely more like, I meet somebody, we meet each other, we like each other. Let's build on this and let's get married and go off into the sunset kind of person.
Right.
I don't feel like I need to date all these people just to know what I want.
Right.
So me not wanting to date, so like this guy, and I had met him like through my mother actually. And after 2 weeks of dating, he was like, "Oh, let's get married. This is like hot." You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, let's get married." And anyway, I think anyway, so we got married, ran up to Las Vegas and got married. And then as soon as we got married, he started trying to control me. Now, for me, I can honestly tell you, it was bad on my part because that's when I learned that sharing my body with somebody that I wasn't truly in love with, I could not do.
Mm.
So I had a hard time. Like I just it was like when he would try to be intimate with me, that was not working for me.
Right.
And so I learned something about myself. Um, and I just couldn't do it. And then I guess with it was, but not just that, but he wanted to control me, and that wasn't gonna happen. And then I realized one day I was getting ready or something, and he just came up behind me, and we were looking in the mirror together, and he says to me, "You're lucky somebody like me would want somebody like you. Look at yourself. You're not you're,
Wow.
you're not pretty. You're really kind of ugly." Um, and
Wow.
oh yes, it was like deep. And so because when you're trying to hold on to something, like what happened, which way you can hold
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, honey bunny, you just don't know this chickadee. And literally, I was like at that point, and exactly. But what had happened was, when I got married, I was still, living home with my mom. I was 23. I already graduated from college, already was working in corporate America. I was making at that time, I was making like $45,000 a year. So money wasn't an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And with my mom, she freaked out when I ran over, got married. She threw me out, like, "Oh, you can't come in my house. Well, first, show me a marriage certificate, then you can leave." Because the whole thing was like, with my family, they did not want you leaving the house unless you were married. So it wasn't like go off, live on your own, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I left, when that happened, I came back. My cousin picked me up, and she, "Oh, your mother's upset. My aunt here in Savannah, I'm gonna stay with her on Sunday." She called my mother. She said, "Don't let that girl come back in that house. Do not throw her out like that." But when everything was said and done, I went to my mother. I said, I I was wrong. You were right. I apologize. I need to come back home. And I told that person, I said, let me tell you something. I'd rather live with my mother than live with you,
Mm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that was the problem where she was very controlling. So
Right.
now the situation, you're gonna try to control me. That's not
Right.
gonna work, you know. And once I moved back home, and I literally the whole relationship was like 14 weeks, literally,
Mm.
So because we got married in May, I was back home and filing for divorce by July. And by January, I was divorced. Okay. And I told my mom, I said, look, I said, and oh, I bought some artwork home. I never did. She said, oh, so where are we gonna hang this up at? And I said, that's going in my apartment. I said, I am moving out and
Right.
having own space. And that's what
Right.
I did,
Right.
and I was very happy. I was in my apartment for like 5 years, you know, quite happy by myself.
Why do you think you
And
married someone that you had only known for such a short time?
because it seemed like we had all that going, you know what I mean? Not, and I mean, I know people that have done that and it can
Oh
work.
yeah, and it works.
Right.
Yes.
I felt we had, and it's so funny that I was doing for my company, I had to do um, something for Essence magazine. And when I was there working on the shoot, and I don't know if you remember the model Wanaki, I always often wonder what happened to Wanaki. She was
Mm-hmm.
this beautiful, um, round model with all this beautiful hair. It was like
Mm-hmm.
all,
Right.
and she was there. She was like, "Oh, girl, that's so sexy," and all the whatever. It was a big thing. And it was all about this girl, this family got married. That's so hot.
Right. Right.
And by the time you do your shoot, and it goes to print. I'm calling Essence like, because I quickly changed my name to his name. I was like, we got to put Green. And she's like, I mean, people remember, they were like, Stephanie, what happened? It didn't work out. And
Right.
I was like, and I wasn't even ready to talk about it at that point, with the editors of Essence. But
Right.
like it didn't work out, and just moved on. But it's so funny, like 4 years ago, this guy is on Facebook looking for me.
Mm.
I'm looking for my
Wow.
wife, and I'm like, I haven't seen this man since I'm like 23. Okay,
And he said he's looking for his wife.
he's looking for me.
First of all, that is not the right title.
Exactly. Let's be clear, but that lets me know that okay, that space that I see it was it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I let me tell you, I like how you the tent packer. I'm the non-responder. I have
Right.
no problem not responding to people. Like it's like people like because people like, oh, show them you're doing well. I don't need to show you. I don't need to show
I
nobody
don't need to
nothing.
show you
I
nothing.
don't need
I need prove nothing to you.
yeah,
And
nothing.
that's
That's
something
important.
that gets us stuck.
It really does. You got to
For
show up at
some
the
of
same
us,
place.
we think that we need to prove something to somebody,
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
we sometimes we are guilty though of making another person feel that we need them for something
Exactly.
that they think we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
We have it,
Mm-hmm.
but we will fold back,
Yeah,
right?
minimize it. Right. Mm-hmm.
We will minimize ourselves
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because we think that, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to
Offend.
rock the boat. I don't want to offend you. I don't want to
Exactly.
hurt your feelings.
I don't want to
And
make you feel less than a man.
right. And I want to make sure that you understand that I need you. And as important as it is, we all want to feel needed. So it's not just men who want to feel needed. Women want to feel needed too.
Exactly.
But
But it's respect that we really want.
it's the respect that we really want. And for individuals, for male, female, we
Mm-hmm.
all have a different sense. We all, like they say, we all have a different way of loving,
Mm-hmm.
or of caring, and
Mm-hmm.
how we show up in our relationships is based on how we see love and how we see relationships, and how we identify what caring is.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times we put ourselves in situations where we already we absolutely knew that there were things differences between this person and I, that we should have never engaged in a intimate relationship as such.
Absolutely.
And hence the reason why I now understand. And it's so funny that you brought this up today, Steph, because I think it was yesterday, or it might have been this morning. I don't even know. It might have been last night, because this week has been a really amazingly productive week, but it's been really juggling a lot of stuff. And I just remember, like, talking to God and saying, God, you know what? Please forgive me for all the foolishness, like, of people I had no business. I'm absolutely no business being with them. Like, if I met them, it should have been, how are you? It's so good to meet you, and keep it moving. No exchange of information, no
Exactly.
follow up, no, can
Exactly.
we just go? No, it should have just been no, absolute no,
It's true. It's true.
right?
It's true.
Because
Mhm.
we tend to do that. We're attracted, one, to the outer appearance of a
Exactly.
person.
Because we don't know anything about you.
Right? I don't know nothing about you.
And and I think if we with that internal thing that we have, and we all have it, and that energy, it's
Yes,
real. It
it's
is
real.
it's
It's
so real.
real.
Me with my visions. Like the one guy that the guy was just talking about. We broke up a couple of years ago or so. Literally, I was leaving his mother's house, and the vision, because he showed me, I knew a picture of his ex-wife. I knew what she looked like. And she came to me in a vision at the door and say, get out, get out, get out. I
See,
kid you not. I
see,
was like, oh, I had to
see,
jump. Yes,
see.
yes.
But see,
That is,
that's your inner self speaking to you,
yeah.
telling you something. And what do? Sometimes we ignore that thing. We go,
But I really didn't. I was
what
just
is
trying to
this?
figure out how can I no longer go back down this rabbit hole. I was trying. I can tell you with me, even when I got married, we got married to Little White Chapel in Las Vegas, and I'm
So did
walking.
I.
I didn't see me at something else's comment. I didn't know that.
So did I.
That's so funny.
So did I.
That's funny.
Our minister's name was Gary.
I can't remember. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
his name was Gary. I have the videotape to prove it.
I don't even have the videotape anymore. I don't know where that is. I moved
Yeah,
so
I
much.
still have it.
But anyway, so when oh, I lost track of what it is.
No, you were talking about you got married in the little white chapel of the flower. What?
Oh yes. And so when I was walking down the aisle, I was like, oh, like, oh Lord, how can I do this? And like I knew I shouldn't have been walking down the aisle.
Right.
Now go to 1997 when I got married. 10 years later, same thing. And it's so funny because I said to my fiance at the time, I'm like, I don't know, like suppose I get nervous coming down the aisle because this was something that we talked about.
Right.
And he said, oh, I'm gonna come and get you. And I was walking down the aisle. You were there.
Yep, I was.
I had that little the feeling like, like
Yeah.
I don't know. And it was right. It was definitely right.
Right.
And I still, did that. And we ran that race for 21 years.
Right.
Not necessarily it was a
Right.
race that we should have run, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the feeling is real. So no matter how nice or charismatic somebody is, you have to, with that feeling saying everything's
Don't
telling
do
you.
it.
And that's what's been happening to me now. And
Right.
trust me, I have been listening to it.
Yes.
Yes, I've been like, or just your habits. Like I met this guy the other day. I gave him my business card. He texted me. I was going out to dinner with my friend Joe from Tokyo.
Right.
And while I was at dinner, he text me about a wine. You should be here with me, with the wine. And I'm like in my mind thinking like, I wouldn't be there with you, we'd be out somewhere, but I wouldn't even be drinking wine because I don't know you. I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I'm not drinking wine with somebody I don't know.
Right.
But then I never heard from her again. So it was right. It was interesting. I mean, when he texts, I text
Because
back.
you didn't fall into the web, love.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
didn't fall into the web.
And that's
And
okay.
and that I told you, did I tell you the story about the 30-year-old who tried to pick me up? I told you that, right?
Well, I know a lot of 30-year-olds try to pick you up because look at you. 'Cause you look like, I mean, so I understand that. And like I know this beautiful woman that you are.
Oh my God, that's hilarious that you would say a lot of 30-year-olds try to. No, well, he tried to pick me up, and it was so funny because just to tell you how much I've been out of the game, I thought that this young man was talking to me. He was a barber, and so I thought he was really talking to me because of my hair. And then I also was looking for this particular place, and he saw me walk up and down the block. Like I had gone down the block, and then I went down the block one way, and then I crossed the street and came back up the block. And so he said, I saw you go by. He says, oh, can I help you find something? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for da 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 da. And he goes, oh yes, that's at the corner down the street. So he says, I'll walk you. I said, okay, great. So we walked down the block, and then he asked, about my hair. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, my barber's been my barber for 15 years. Da, 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 da. And so he says, you have Instagram? Yes, I have Instagram. I'm oblivious to, because one of my friends was like, when he asked for your Instagram, first of all, he's young. See, the older person is going to ask if you're on Facebook or what's your number, period, not are you on Instagram? But I don't, I'm like, okay, cool. Then he says, do you sip? I'm sorry, what? Do you sip? I said, what do you mean, drink? He goes, yeah. And I go, yes, I do. So he goes, well, what are you doing later? I'm oblivious. I said to him, I said, I am going to celebrate my one of my friends' 61st birthday. He goes, 61st birthday? I said, yeah, like, don't do that. I said, because I'm 56 years old. So then he says, but what are you doing tomorrow? And I'm like, wait, what? And so then he says, I would really like to take you out. I said, wait. I said, how old are you? He says, no, first he says, that doesn't matter. I said, oh no, it really does matter, love. I said, how old are you? He says, I'm 30. I said, honey, let me tell you something. I have a 32-year-old, a 27-year-old, and I just dropped my 18-year-old out of college last week. I said, you, so he goes, no, 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 we're all grown here. I said, oh no, sweetheart, I'm grown. You are not. You are not. Especially at 30. At 2 years ago, your brain just formulated for you to start to behave maturely. Because that's what they say. Statistically, a male's brain takes it right 28 before it's completely developed. Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, you just, so you are not grown. I'm sorry. I can't help you. And he's texting me and I never bothered. And then he finally stopped. And I said, yes, because you're probably used to older women.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Taking that and going, oh my God, that's so cute. Like, no, honey, you are younger than my son.
Yeah, it's not.
And you're 2 years younger than my daughter.
Yeah.
And then you're way older than my youngest. So the problem is your digits don't match with mine. Right. And I'm like, no. So it is interesting that when men, or we encounter people, right? We encounter men, and then they come with the line. And it's funny because I told my daughter, men's lines are the same at 4, 14, 24, 44, 64, 84. Sorry, dogs. I'm sorry, but it's true. Your game is the same your whole entire life. And I say that now, if you don't have game, you won't be offended. But if you got game, you're offended. And you should be, because it's game.
Absolutely, you should be.
It's game. And so it takes us, though, as women, a little bit longer to recognize that it's game. Because we fall into the woo stage, like, oh my God, he's so into me, he's calling, he takes me out to dinner, he's so nice, let's get past all the nicety, let's get past all the fracking bull,
that thing, okay?
Get past all that. Let's get to the real nitty-gritty about who you are as an individual. Like, when's the last time you were in a real relationship? Have you ever been in a real relationship? And if you were, how long was it? And in the end, when it was over, what role did you play? Because that's a lot, we all, as human beings, we love to play the victim, and we will quickly say, oh, so-and-so did this and they did this and I was just trying. No. We all play a role, because as a female, as a woman, if I encounter the guy who I already know you have some game, and I continue to proceed with you, I'm an accessory to your antics.
You're a willing participant.
Absolutely. And then I can't turn around and go, you did me so wrong.
Exactly.
Hun, he told you that he was in a situation when he met you.
He told you from the door, which you chose to ignore. Because for some reason, we all get in our minds, when I lay on my back for you, it's going to be the best experience he ever had. No, honey bunny, it's the same experience. Until that man truly loves you, is the only time it's a different experience. Okay.
But no, let's go back. Until he truly loves himself.
Oh yeah, but
enough,
he can't love you unless he loves
enough to find the ability to love another human being.
Exactly.
Respectfully and lovingly and truthfully. He really cannot do anything for you. And that's the same, men, it's the same for the woman. Because I know, women, we come with game too.
Oh, absolutely.
We come with you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that and you're supposed to do this and yet we want our women liberation. I want to
Mhm.
be free, and I don't, you're not gonna
Mhm.
tell me what to do. But then when we get ready, we want to play the game.
That's
I
right.
don't know. I can't fix that. I can't fix that tire. I know how to change my tire.
Mhm.
Now I could change my own tire, but now at this point in my life, I prefer to have someone else change the tire.
Triple A.
Right. Okay. Triple A. Exactly. I can change, I can do electrical work. Am I an expert at it? No. But I can do more than change a light bulb.
Mhm.
But I would prefer someone else to do it. But it needs to be understood that as human beings, as individuals, I make a decision about how much I'm going to give of myself in
Exactly.
order to allow you in. I
Mhm.
make adjustments.
Yeah.
You make adjustments for the people you let into your life. The thing is that is where we get tripped up, is that sometimes we adjust so much that we forget what we really wanted and who we really are.
Yeah. You
And
got
then when that person comes out, the other person is like, oh no, you're not the person. No, I am that person. They
Mhm.
are that person.
Mhm. Yep, they are.
You were just so busy trying to make them what
Fit into that
you.
mold.
There you go.
That's right. That fit into that mold. You can't make so much adjustment. Well, you can make good adjustments. Don't all have to be
Right.
bad. But you
Right.
can't make so many adjustments that you don't even recognize your own self in the mirror.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I tell you,
Right.
I did suffer from some postpartum, especially when I had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I kept like, people were like, "Oh, you can't wear them heels no more. You ain't gonna be able to do this." I would just hear those things when I was
Right.
one of my girlfriend's mother. She was good for saying that. Oh, fancy, fancy. I've been wearing high heels since I'm in the fourth grade. I love high heels.
Right. You and
Um,
I both. I
you know,
remember when I
so
bought my first pair.
exactly. So I was just like, and like for me, what people call dressed up is just what I look like every day. You know, and oh, you're not gonna be able to do that. Why you look
We
so
don't know casual.
Exactly, exactly. And so once I never forget, I just was like, oh my God, I just needed to see myself. It was
Correct.
important to get up, put my clothes on, fix myself up, and still look like Stephanie.
Right.
And not to look like, oh, and like even some of you, oh, you have a child now. You don't need to do that. You married now. I was engaged, like I was the serial fiance for a minute. Had so many fiancés, but the one guy was, and God told me about him too. And again, could not, intimately was a problem. I used to think it was my problem, and I realized it wasn't my problem. It was my emotion,
Mm-hmm.
and because I just didn't have that type of connection and all this stuff. And when he called my mother and told my mother I would not sleep with him, my mother went, "Oh, she's not a virgin. She won't sleep." My mother said, "You think you ain't married to her? She ain't be running around giving her body to all these." My mother, he went off on him. Why would you call my mother? Because my mother was so for the relationship, so he thought he could
Yes.
go for her about
Right.
anything. Like you go over and you sleep with them. My mother's like, "Yeah, you need to leave my daughter alone. This is gonna be
Right.
okay."
You need to go away.
But I know, but it was a breakdown. First of all, he chased me for 5 years, and my mother like, you should cheat me out, and I should have never even gotten involved into a relationship with him. But the one thing that he did do, he's like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to fix yourself up no more. You already got me. I said, honey, I don't do this for
This
you.
is
I got
not for you.
like you
I
have
want
got
you to be very clear. This is not for
very
you.
clear. And I like, and I can honestly tell you, until this day, I have yet to meet a man that's not trying to take something from me that I enjoy for whatever reason. You know, like the last guy, it was my car. Because I was driving Lyft, trying to, get myself back together, going through this whole situation. And I was just finishing. Oh, if you're going to continue, that's what he said. Well, if you're going to continue to drive, well, I'm not. I said, this is a means to end for my divorce. I said, but that's not what I'm planning on doing. Oh, you need to get this other kind of car. You need to get this. He used to rag on my car and then rag on like the places I like to eat because he's still 56 years old and is like, he probably owns stock in McDonald's at this time because he still eats McDonald's. Like, and I don't eat that. You know what I mean? I don't need to be ridiculed by anyone about
Right.
what I like to eat. Oh, you like the
Or what I
much.
like to drive, or where I like to
I like to
go, or what I
drive, what
like
I
to
like to
wear.
wear. I don't need to be hit with that. I
Right.
went to the thing with my husband with the pocketbooks. Oh, you need everything to be so. Why can't everything be so? We have this beautiful home here. I made this house so it's nice. You love it, right? I take care of our children, and it's like, but now you're gonna try to make me feel like a certain kind of way. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not leaving the house with something ragged on my head. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't. We had to go somewhere unexpectedly that morning, and he left me and my daughter. She was a baby. Oh, just put some on her. We had to go to the church. I'm not just putting anything on her. We just got the call this morning. I'm trying to get us together, and he left. You know, because it was something with his family, and I was like, wow, that was interesting. Because I trust and believe I'm not, showing up any kind of way. But I prepare for that. I'm not having you sitting waiting for 2 hours. But now, because it's like this, all these things that attracted you to me is all things that you learn now that you don't like about
Right.
me.
Right.
But I could spot that too, because I know when someone's really attracted to all that energy that I'm bringing at times, and they're attracted to all the physical, and I could just walk away from it because now I literally recognize it right away,
Right.
because
Right.
I realize that that's what they're attracted to, but they want to try to take all those things from you to keep you, like kind of put you in
Right.
a box or in a
Right.
cage. You
Right.
know, I like what is that movie Dirty Dancing? Nobody puts baby in a corner. Okay.
Right.
That's
Right.
not gonna happen.
And but what you're saying is very true, because I
It is.
remember
It
my
is.
my my ex-husband, same thing. I love to have fun. I
Mhm.
love to be, I'm a social butterfly. I love to be around people. When I laugh hearty. When I'm speaking, I speak out loud. And after we got together, it was kind of like I could hear you down the hall. And but then I found myself going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, what? Why am I sorry? Because
Exactly.
I'm the same person that you met and that you claimed you were in love with, that you wanted
Exactly.
to marry, and we married. Yet after we get married or we're in a committed relationship, now all of a sudden you have issues with. And see, people will disagree with this, but that's a perfect time when you start to see things shift, to have an evaluation. Because guess what? Don't you have an evaluation on your job? Don't you do an
Mhm.
evaluation of your bank account? Don't you,
Mhm.
balance your checkbook and your
Mhm.
money? Don't you check
Mhm.
your stocks and say, oh,
Mhm.
maybe I need to sell this because it's not doing good? However, we don't do that in relationships. We don't
Mhm.
take stock of our relationships. We don't
Mhm.
evaluate our relationships. What we do is we get mad, right? And then we have arguments, and we have these moments of, I'm not talking to you.
Mhm.
I'm just not going to be bothered with you right now. And then we'll just have a cooling off period, and then we'll just come back together, and then we'll move on. The problem with that, though, is that we never address what the problem is.
Mhm.
It just kind of sits there, and it
Mhm.
just we keep piling things on top of it. And I think I was saying earlier, I don't think I finished what I was saying, was that I had this conversation with myself about all the things I could identify as to why I should have never been with people that I had been with.
Mhm.
Like, I saw those things, and for whatever reason, I literally chose to not ignore them. I knew they existed. But in my mind, and not even, I'm not the person who I think I can change somebody. I'm
Mhm.
not that person either.
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, I thought, oh wow, if this was to happen, they would be different.
Mhm.
Again,
Mhm.
I'm not trying to change you, but in my mind, I'm saying, oh, but if you had this type of experience in life, this would help you heal from whatever it is that's going on with you. And then I think, or I deem myself, I'm supposed to be your joy maker. I'm supposed to be your peacemaker. I'm supposed
Mhm.
to be,
Mhm.
no, you're not. I'm not.
I'm supposed to be your court jester.
Right.
Like,
I'm not. We all have to deal with our hurt. We all have to deal with our own disappointment. We all have to deal with our darkness. We all have to, and the challenge is that we go from one situation in life to another situation in life to another situation in life to another situation in life. And so that's when we are dealing with past tense situations. And the next person in the line is dealing with all of that, not even knowing that that's what you brought.
Sure.
The same way you're dealing with that person and you don't realize that they're bringing past tense situations, and so that's what makes relationships really hard. And I've always said, I think the major breakdown is in relationships are that people will not or choose not or won't not be honest with people. You won't be honest with yourself, and then you won't be honest with the other person in saying, you know what, maybe I am not ready to do this.
Exactly.
One of the things I really appreciate about someone that I was involved with, they said, I don't have the capacity to do that right now. They said, I just don't have the capacity to be in that type of relationship. In the beginning of that, I was like, well, excuse me, what? Like, so what are we doing here? But I had to dissect that and really take them at their word for what they were saying. Because we always say we want honesty, right? We want honesty. Tell me what's going on with you. And they did. And if I had pressed that button to say, "Ooh, I'm canceling you because you don't have the capacity to be with me where I want to be," I probably would have missed out on a great relationship. But because I took that step back and tried to understand where they were coming from, and then said to myself, are you ready for that capacity? Do you have the capacity? Because when they questioned themselves or they put their stuff out, it made me look at myself and say, maybe I'm not feeling this thing that I think I'm feeling. And sometimes if we would just be honest, it would help both parties learn how to just kind of sit back for a minute, dissect it, examine it, look at it, and really, really understand where you are. Like we started this conversation because you were saying how you're a sensitive person and your feelings get hurt. But is it our feelings or is it something? What's behind the feelings though? Because there obviously has to be experiences that have built up that feeling when we get to that point where we either feel rejected or we feel ignored, we feel unseen, we feel unheard. We have all these, I'm not feeling what I want to feel, therefore you're not making me happy. And in some cases you need to look at that and say, this is not the person for you. This is not the relationship for you.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what it really comes down to, because you should be seen and heard and all these things in a relationship. If that person doesn't bring that to the relationship, I mean, or anybody in a relationship, and they're not giving you that, then that's not the person for you.
Right.
But you keep looking for those things in the wrong person.
Right.
It's like literally that inner voice. But I just want to piggyback on something you were saying earlier. I just sold a house up in Union, New Jersey. And when I left, there was a car dealership. So I went over there because, I'm shopping for a new car. And the guy, he's about 24 years old.
Here we go.
Yes. He just texted me just before I got like, so how you doing? I'm like, you get any new cars in? Like,
right.
We know how you doing.
Right. We're not friends.
No. Like, oh, you try, like, I guess he trying to do the Mac on me. Right. And then when my car broke down 2 weeks ago, the guy, he 26 years old, he asked me out on a date. I'm like, I don't, as anything I could push out, I don't date. I'm sorry. you know.
I love that. I love that.
If
Anything
I
I
push
can
you
push
out,
out, I
yeah,
can.
no,
Right.
you're not doing, yeah.
You're right about that. I told that young man, I said, I had memories older than you, honey. So yeah, no.
Yeah, there's nothing cute about it, okay?
Nothing.
You know,
Nothing.
he's like, but you didn't push me out. I said, but I could have,
But I could have. Yeah, I certainly could have. Thank you
That's
very
all it
much.
takes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
And then when it's like when we see, even when we see that, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm always like, oh, that's so cute. You're such a, I'm like, oh, I'm proud of you. You're doing so well in life. Yeah, that's what I would say to my son.
it's nothing. Like I had this one kid, he had to be like 19, so I ended up like kind of coaching him. No,
Right.
and I
That's what ends up
like,
happening. Right.
yeah, I like because he called me, he was like, and I knew he worked at one of my accounts. And I was telling my soul Youre, he's like, oh, Miss Stephanie, like, he didn't go, Miss Stephanie, I want to talk to you, whatever. And he called me, he's like, so what are you wearing? I said, excuse
What?
me?
What are you wearing?
What am I wearing? I said, let me tell you something, young man. I said, stop running around here with these young women, old women. I said, they only want you for your body. Oh, that's not right with me. I said, trust and
Yes.
believe that's not all right with you.
Yeah.
I said, you do not want to put yourself in that position. You know,
Yes.
I mean, he would call me off and on for like a while. Like I guess he stopped calling me. And but it was just like, what is going on with that? I think that's not a good, healthy thing.
No.
Not at all. I mean, and maybe if he's 40 and you're 50, I wouldn't do it. But let somebody be adult. They have gone through something. They have lived a little.
Right.
Have an idea of something. I still don't think 10 years. I'll do 5, the most young, or 5 older for me. Because the difference is there and it's big.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not everyone. Like my niece, her husband just bought her a beautiful house. And he's 12 years younger than her. But he adores her. They've been married for 6 years now. They dated for like 4 years before they got married. And so they've been together for quite a while, and it works. And I never forget, I always remember what they had on their program. We only have to be perfect for each other.
Amen.
And whatever that looks like in the realm of their relationship.
Right.
Like, people
I love that.
Yes, because you can have a perfect relationship for you. And who is that to dictate what your relationship should be like? Correct. It's only between the two people that are in the relationship.
Exactly.
Because if you like it, I love it for you.
Right.
But and people can't, oh, you gotta have this, you gotta no. You have to do what works for those two individuals.
That's right. Because we're the only, we're the two, and in the relationship, and we really have to answer to one another. We don't have to answer to other people. We don't have to explain or justify to other people. And unfortunately, that's what happens. We find ourselves when we don't understand, we find ourselves, like I said earlier, we're talking to everybody else except the person who we're in the relationship with, and we're not sharing the truth with them, or they're not sharing the truth with us. And then next thing you know, everybody's like, well, you know what? I think maybe this doesn't work and we should just go our own separate ways. Sometimes that is needed. But sometimes if people would just take the time out to have a conversation, you could mend whatever the situation is.
An honest conversation on top of it.
And move on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And the thing is too, that we as women, we cannot be so, we have to be excited about us, about our life.
Absolutely.
Who we are. You can't be excited so much about your partnership. You can't be more excited about the partner than you are about yourself.
Right.
When you're in that position, like I knew a couple of ladies, they married to like professional football players. And so now I done been through college. Now you're pro ball player. Now you got everybody there. So because of your lack of who you are, and now of course he's feeling himself, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to keep him, even if that means bringing other people into our bedroom. Yeah. But once a person wants to do that and it's a sign to me of disrespect.
Correct.
You're just going down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
That is not, it doesn't work, and it didn't work. You know what I mean? You're on your way, because if you would have been true to who you were, and said, no, we probably need some counseling because that's not how this relationship is gonna
Right.
work.
This is not what we do. This is not what I'm going to do. And this is not what
Right.
you're going to do
So,
as long as we are together. So yeah, we have to, there's something has to be discussed and changed here.
but
Absolutely.
look at all the. I mean, women do. Women do things for themselves, but I think that when you look at all the like the butt augmentations, especially the butt augmentations and and all this kind of stuff, what is all of that? What happened to the individuality? You look on IG when these so-called IG models, they all look exactly the same body, the same. It's like, wow, there's no, there's many different shapes of bodies. There are
Because
many,
we're more concerned about the outer image of ourselves than we are the inner
exactly,
image of
exactly,
ourselves. And if
exactly.
you don't have a good inner image, you don't know who you are, you don't know who you aspire to be, and you don't love who you are, then right, you're like a chameleon. You're going to constantly take on
Exactly.
everything else of
What's the new
everyone
trend?
else, and
Exactly.
so that you can fit. And that's the thing, we don't always have to fit everywhere in
No,
life.
we don't. We want to be real. We want to
And
be the
first of all,
1%.
you can't, but realize that you don't have to,
Exactly.
you
You
know.
know, it's okay to like wear your natural hair. You do not have to wear a weave. You know what I mean? Hello. Even though, like, I was on a plane, they say, "Oh, we love your hair," and now, like, well, it's mine. It's real. You know what I mean? It's not a wig. But it's like, and it's sad. It's really, really, really sad, and it's getting
Yes.
worse. You
Yes.
know, and it's like, wow, what happened to that? Because what you do know for sure is that when you feel good and feel beautiful on the inside, it shines on the outside.
Yes, it
You could
does.
cover all that up as much as you
Yeah.
want. You could definitely see through all of that.
Yeah, your
You
inner
know,
image will shine brightly on the outside, and
it's so
that's
true.
because
It's so
that's
true.
where, it's like you're beautiful inside and out, or
And
not
that
only. And beauty is more than skin deep.
it is.
It's skin deep. It
It
is
is.
more than what you see out here,
It's more
because
than what you think.
the same way you could see a beautiful person or a handsome person, and you would say, but you have such a stink nasty attitude. That attitude
That kills
makes
it.
you ugly. It kills it.
Kills it. Kills it.
You're like, I don't even see the beauty in you. All I see is how ugly
Ugly
you
you are.
are from the
But your
inside
spirit is
out.
ugly. Your soul is ugly.
Right.
Exactly. You know.
So,
Mm,
we always have to remember the inner person, your inner me, right? Your inner
yeah.
me is
Mm-hmm.
sometimes our greatest enemy,
Mm-hmm.
because we wrestle with that inner person, the spirit of myself, versus what I think the world says I should be or should be doing. And that's a hard place to be in. And you have to, like I said, you have to every now and then have to take an evaluation of yourself and go back and have those hard conversations with self about decisions we've made, about people we've encountered, and things we've done that we should have never done, people we
Exactly.
should have never been involved with. You know how they say people come into your life for a reason and a season? Some
Exactly.
people had no reason and they damn
It
sure didn't
didn't
deserve
have
a
a season.
season.
So
They had
true.
no reason and they damn sure did not deserve a season of
It's
any
so true.
sort.
It's so true. I
But
never get like
we gave away parts of ourselves to people that we what I always tell you, please give me that back.
you didn't deserve it then, and you
You didn't
definitely don't
deserve it.
deserve it
You don't deserve it now. Can I please have it back?
now. Yes. I mean, it's like when I used to like, I modeled for a long time, and I know my thing is going. I modeled for a long time, and one of the agency was like, "Oh, you need to get a nose job." I'm not getting a nose job. Not even. Like you have lost your mind. My nose fits my face, you
Yes,
know.
it does.
And so I wasn't trying to do any of that. But some people would have. I never felt I'm getting plugging in now.
Okay.
Um, okay, there we go. I never felt the need to do that. Where some people, oh, and that was just something I was like, okay, maybe I'll continue to do this. I get really into corporate after I graduated.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that was it. I'm done. You know, that's okay. I don't need to do all of that.
Right.
But I'm not changing. I belong to the itty bitty titty committee and it works. You
I'm the
know what I mean?
president.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause I know a good push-up bra when I see one.
What?
And it's
Wonder Twins activate, baby.
exactly, exactly. I mean, it's just so many things that besides, I can't imagine going to somebody's knife because somebody said, like, oh,
Right,
really? I'm only going to knife if I
right,
have to. Okay,
right.
that's not the
Your
first time.
your lips are too full. Your nose is too
Yeah,
big. Your eyes are too small. Your buns are too big,
yeah,
but your breasts
yeah.
are too small. What? Guess what? I
Well, I
am
know
not
there's one
here
thing,
for you.
but there's one thing I'm not lying. I may do. I am not gonna lie because I'm my eyebrows. I'm thinking about if I could get an eyebrow transplant with no, repercussions from it. I would do that.
Well, I'm glad there are repercussions, so you won't be doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I see somebody that did it and their eyes were so swollen. I was like, oh my God, like their face
No,
blew up. Well, no, the
no,
person they did the edge, they had that edge.
no.
But I said like I don't like the pain. So I got a nice eyebrow pencil. So we just worked that thing.
Right. The
And I
first
do,
time
I
I
do
was, you talk about eyebrows. I remember the first time it was my 30th birthday. I decided that I was going to wax my eyebrows. I had never done anything to my eyebrows. I never had a lot of eyebrows to begin with, but for my 30th birthday, I thought I would wax my eyebrows. And I'm very, I have a high tolerance for pain. Like
me too.
I've delivered babies, natural childbirth. I had an appendicitis. I was, sitting at home for 3 days. The thing was about to rupture, and I'm just like, oh, I'm okay. So have a high tolerance for pain. So anyway, I get my eyebrows done for my birthday. And so, the young lady's talking me through it, and she puts the wax on, and she's like, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I'm so excited to get this done. I just got my hair cut. You couldn't tell me nothing. She's like, so she puts the little tape on, and she rips the tape off. Heat rose in my belly. Heat rose in my belly, and a tear came out of my eye. She said, are you okay? I could not speak. She says, well, I have to do the other one. Mm-hmm. She rips that one off. More heat rose in my belly, and another tear. By the time she cleaned up and I walked across from her station to go sit on that chair, my forehead said, I looked like Superman. I had a hood over my. So the moral of the story is no one's going to convince me that I need to do anything for you or that is painful to me to make you happy. It's not happening.
So I guess it's easy to say that you won't be getting a Brazilian.
No, ever. No, ever. Never, ever, never, ever. No. It's so funny you would say that because my daughter, she's the queen. I'm like, girl, I said, you more mature than me.
Which one?
My youngest.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I think Savannah does that too. She doesn't like, I'm like, she said, I can't, she doesn't want to get all her hair removed. She's like, I
like,
want to get
oh my God. She's like, mommy, you don't understand. It's so clean and it's so neat. Yeah, that's lovely, but your mother is not doing it. I remember one of my friends did that some years ago, was on her way to Hawaii for vacation. And when she left, she was waddling when she came in. And when she came back 2 weeks later, she said, I couldn't even get in the water. You went all the way to Hawaii, baby, and couldn't get in the water, baby. No, I'm good.
Those things you got to do like 2 weeks ahead to make sure
I don't need, listen, no. I don't need that kind of snatching.
no.
I'm wonderful.
I can't.
I'm
I
good.
I'm with you on that one.
Listen.
My eyebrows have always been like in my family, it's just like that. And so I never had my eyebrows like waxed anyway.
Listen,
So
Steph, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Exactly. I always did my own eyebrows. Like, I used to be the eyebrow queen. I come to the house like, oh, Steph, let's do eyebrows. Because they don't have, and I know how to do eyebrows. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I've never, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Tweezing was enough.
I'm good.
I'm like, oh, Lord.
So, but anyhow, it looks like you are on the move. So
Yeah.
I didn't say this earlier. So Steph is in her dream place. She's home. She's in Savannah. She's
Yeah.
see that smile? See that smile? She's gonna have that smile the whole time she's there. And when she comes back, every time you say Savannah, see, look at that. Look at that
I
face. It
know.
just
I love Savannah.
yes.
You know,
And see her
I'm staying
daughter's name is
I'm in a hotel
Savannah.
lobby right now.
Yes, she loves Savannah. So
I do.
I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Get some rest, have some fun, enjoy your family. I'm not gonna pop up this weekend, so you don't have to wait.
I know. I already knew that. I know you got a lot going on, and it's like because we're gonna be staying on Wilmington Island, so I'm here now. This place, I'm just hopping along, staying at different places. I'll be here for
Nice.
4 days, and I'm staying in 3 different places.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Well, listen, that's what is that's the nicety of not having you don't have nobody to have to answer. You just do what you want
I
to
know
do.
that's
Be where
right.
you
That is
want to
a
be.
good thing. But I
Yes.
did was interested in leaving the house yesterday. I
Yes.
must admit, because I have like we definitely have, taught our children well.
Yes.
And so when we're going somewhere, my son gets all the luggage, he packs the car, he takes the
Right.
garbage out, make sure the dog is good. Savannah does make sure everything's turned off. We have
Right.
our roles. Now
Yes.
that I had to do this all myself yesterday, I can honestly tell you I miss my kids.
Yes,
Now that I'm
absolutely.
here, I'm saying like, oh, I got to put the gas in my car myself because normally Savion, he knows that's his job to put the
Right.
gas in the car. So now I got to
Right.
do that myself.
Right. Right. Now you're an independent child.
Exactly,
Independent.
exactly. But the key is that I can do it. It's
That's
not
right.
that I didn't know how to do it, but
Right.
when you're working together, you have roles, and that's
That's
the roles.
right.
You know what I
And
mean?
always
So you have to teach your
remember
children.
what role you played.
Exactly,
And just
exactly.
don't play the victim role.
I know that's right. I
Remember
know
the
that's
role
right.
you play. Yes.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
really
that's
good.
all good. Yeah,
Yes.
but my baby, she's coming in today. Her and her
Okay,
boyfriend.
awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then my nieces, they're all on the same plane.
Okay, nice. Awesome.
Yeah, so
Well, I
they'll be
want you
good.
to have a wonderful weekend. And
Okay, honey.
we hope that all of you have a wonderful weekend. And we want you all to also consider, take some time this weekend, this week, next month to evaluate your PTS, your post,
Mhm. Absolutely,
your past
definitely.
tense situations, and really evaluate them and see how they're affecting you. Are they affecting you? What have you learned from them? What can you change? What can you do differently so that you don't continue to stack up your past tense situations? So,
And I would definitely share with people, find your happy place. Find the place that gives you joy. Even if
yes,
that place is in your mind. I
yes,
can honestly tell you, I'm gonna start meditating, at least, I'm gonna start 10 minutes a day
right.
and really try to find my happy place to get my vibrational level a lot higher so I could like operate from a higher vibrational level. And when you operate like that, you feel so much better in your life.
Yes, you do.
And make a choice about your day. I choose
Yes,
that no matter how wrong the day goes, I'm still going to be happy in this day.
that's right. And no matter what goes on, you still,
And no matter
because
what goes on, I'm still
happiness,
going to
you
be happy.
control your level of happy.
Exactly. I'm on my way. I'm so excited to go see my friends. Haven't seen each other
Yes,
in a year and a half and all
yes,
this kind of things. And just excited. My car
nice,
breaks down. I never made it, but I still had a really wonderful day.
right.
We just had to make that for another day, and that's okay too.
That's right. Amen.
Mhm.
Amen. Well, again, we thank you all so much for joining us. So we hope that you all have garnered some wisdom, some nuggets, something to walk away with, or some moments to say, I really need to think about that. So we thank you all for joining us today. And always remember, Steph and I are both life coaches. You can reach me at I Do Love Coaching on Instagram, or I do love coaching at gmail.com. You can find me also on our Spotify on the autopsy of her healing involving resiliency, or you can just reach out to me on Facebook. Steph, you want to share how?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on my mentor.life/Stephanie Deani Davenport.
Okay, awesome.
I don't know what I did now, and I can't see you. I know you can't see me either.
I see. Yeah, I see your beautiful picture, but I don't see your
Oh, you see,
face.
yeah, like I don't know. Don't get me started. What happened? Because everything I put on do not disturb, and just kept
Oh,
getting disturbed.
Oh, okay. And this might be that you turned your camera off some way, somehow.
Okay, I think I went. I don't know. Don't get me
Okay.
started. All right, honey
Well,
bunny.
all right. Well, we love you all. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed weekend. And Steph, I love you. Thank you so
I
much.
love you too, honey.
All right. Talk to y'all soon. Have a great weekend.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.